for life. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I'm pretty much content with just rhyming all day.
Or digital can instantly share pictures.
I can start. Hello. I am sorry, but I must interrupt this show.
Later, you know what it is. Hey, ham solo. It's time, baby. Low. Let's turn out we do. Hey.
They said we said we hit. They said we said we on. They said we said we strong. They said we said we go. We say that you heard right. 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 They said we said we hit. They said we said we on. They said we said strong. They said we said go. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you man. I swear that it's imminent. I've been going so hard on my penmanship. About to go in and buy me a whip. And I pull that shit fresh off the dealership. I can leave you in red like an Xbox. Got me laughing at you like you red fox. Got you chasing Hot Wheels like a matchbox. EA running the game. It don't stop. Super cold like I'm playing for Blizzard. Got you all in my sights like Red Dead Redemption. Never gonna slip on my pimpin'. Better get out my way, bitch. I'm on a mission. Really ain't no competition. I'm steady grilling opposition. I'm get up and ready to win. They can play it how they play, but fuck what you say. I'm getting this money today. Last of us like a dying breed. Down the ride like a noble steed. Fatality moves, I make you bleed. That's on any game, that's on any screen. Shut up and give me your money. They said we so lit. Even if I take an L, we coming back just to show that we don't quit. They said we hit. They said we said.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 97th installment of the Low-Down on TSWS Gaming. I'm your host, as always, and joining me this week,
the bait and switch.
Pretty much, is Mr. Matt Likes Games. Matt, how you doing? What you been playing?
Dude, what have I been playing? Oh, first of all, I'm doing good. What have I been playing? Honestly, funny enough, I mean Dragon Age. I'm working my way through all the first three ones. I've beat 1 and 2. I'm on to Inquisition now, and I gotta be real. I mean, I gotta give it a lot more time, but I gotta be real. I'm not too sure how I feel about Inquisition.
Why? What's so different?
That game feels very open, like even way more open than Veilguard is. Like, Veilguard's, I would imagine Veilguard's a longer game, but Inquisition is very open, like almost open world, but not really open world. Like there's different areas, but the areas are huge, like massive. And also, dude, I was playing and I ran into this thing where it's like go to the war room and set up the war table and do a I forget what they called it. Like do some operation is what they called it. And I was like, okay, let me do that real quick. And then I go set it up and it's like, it starts a timer for like 50 minutes. And I'm like, oh, so like 50 endgame minutes. That's like what, 2 minutes or something like that? Nope, it's 50 real world minutes. I have to wait 50 real world minutes so that I can finish this task.
What?
It's I don't know whose idea that was. I don't know what they were smoking when they made that, but it is a terrible mechanic. It is horrible. I thank God. I'll tell you what. Thank God for quick resume because I just turned on like Forza, and I played for like an hour and I came back and it was done. But if I was on the Xbox One, I'd have had to like just sit there for 50 minutes.
That's wild. Also, I'm glad the quick resume works, so you don't have to have the game opened for 50 minutes consecutively.
Thank God. That I'll say the characters are cool in Inquisition. I mean, the characters for the most part are out of the first 3 games I've played. I haven't run into too many characters I don't like. So typical BioWare, they've nailed the characters in that sense. Combat's pretty cool. It's more of a mix of 1 and 2, whereas Veilguard is like strictly an action game, pretty much in terms of its combat. So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, I'm gonna give it more time.
Based or
What's that?
The old Dragon Age games, are they turn based or just action?
No, it's not turn based. If I'd say it's more like if you've ever played which I haven't played a ton of Pillars of Eternity. It's not turn
Okay.
based, but it's more tactical.
So like
Like
RTS? Does it feel more like
sort of, yeah,
RTS?
sort of,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Where like you're not going back and forth with turns, but you are just basically hitting a button, and your character just walks up and attacks, and that's pretty much the
Okay.
combat in Dragon Age 1. And then 2 is more like an action game. And then 3 and Inquisition is more like a mix of both of those. So it's cool. I'll give it a lot more time, especially because I'm gonna beat it because I'm not gonna get to Inquisition and then not finish it.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, out of the first 3, my favorite's probably 2, which is funny because everyone says that's like the worst one out of the first 3. But I really enjoyed it. Um, Veilguard might still be my favorite, but then again, Inquisition might turn it around. Inquisition could turn around. I could see it being my favorite. So we'll see. That's what I've been
Okay.
playing now.
Okay. Just don't say that Dark Souls 2 is the best one after you start playing all the Dark Souls games.
Dude, I tried playing Dark Souls. I bought all the Dark Souls games, and I tried 1. I got my ass kicked. It was cool though. I got my ass kicked though. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
2, I straight up didn't like it. I
Why?
I just straight up because it felt like I don't know, like the way it starts, and maybe I'm misremembering it. It just didn't feel as, especially after playing Elden Ring, because this is when I. It just didn't
Ah,
as grand. It just felt kind of boring.
okay. Dark Souls 3, what happened there?
Dark Souls 3 is really cool. That's probably the toughest one, and the one. What sucks is when we moved last year,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I lost the disc. So in the
Oh
move,
no.
I lost the disc to Dark Souls 3, which stinks. Although I do have it on my PlayStation, I can still play it there if I really want to play it. But that would probably be my favorite of the first 3 Dark Souls off the little I've played.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's tough as nails, but God, the aesthetic for that game is so good. I love it.
It's the easiest one. From the Dark Souls 3,
Is it?
I would say it's the easiest one, yeah.
Well, God bless, because I tell you
Because
what, I suck at
I,
these games.
I would say it's the easiest one because it's the only one that I was able to beat.
Well, I mean, shit, maybe I'll have to give it another shot because
Yeah.
I got past that first boss after
Yeah.
getting my ass kicked like 5 or 6 times, but I got past
Mhm.
him,
Yeah.
and after that, I couldn't do it. Maybe I got to go back or something and give it another shot, but we'll see.
For me, the thing that I've gotten from the Dark Souls games or from the software from soft games that I've played is that you need to find your niche and lean all the way in. You know? Don't
Yeah.
try and be a jack of all trades. If you're going to do like magic, go all the way in. Like from the armor sets to your play style, the whole thing, the whole 9 yards. You can't have a focus on magic, but then when you're fighting these bosses, you're getting in close. You know,
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
need to
See, no, go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead, but
I was gonna say what's interesting about that is with Elden Ring. I that was basically me for the first, I don't know, I played that like probably like 200 hours. For like the first 150 hours, that was me. And then eventually, because I was like leveling my guy so much, like I forget what they called it. That chicken, where that chicken spawns and
oh
you
yeah,
can kill it
yeah,
over and
yeah,
over. That farm,
yeah.
like I was leveling my guy so much off of that. By the end of that game, my guy was like a level 200 something. So like I could do anything I wanted to. Like I was a mage most of the game, and then I was like, you know what? I want to use a huge sword. And
And
my
you
health,
had the stats.
exactly. I had the stats, and my health bar was so big that even though I suck at like dodging, I don't think there's
You
parrying
just
in some
had
of
to
them.
keep on wailing. You just
Yeah,
had to keep on holding on.
I could take as many hits as I wanted for the most part, and
Yeah.
I could just beat the shit out of a boss. That is not the
Damn.
case in Dark Souls 3.
But that's fine, you know.
Yes,
For me,
yes.
that's why when people say that Elden Ring and the Dark Souls games they're hard or whatever, I'm like, dude, it's really not. You just need to find your niche and lean into it. Like you, for example, Matt, if you go back to Dark Souls 3 and then you max out a melee build, no shield, no nothing, just a fucking cleaver of a great sword, and max out, find a farm spot, max out your health, you'll be fine. The
Yeah.
problem is no one wants to put in the time.
Yeah,
You
it's a
know,
lot of grinding for a lot of
like
people,
when you
yeah.
put in when you got your character to level 200, I'm guessing while you were farming that chicken in Elden Ring, you
Mhm.
had like podcast playing
Oh, yeah.
for like
Music,
6 hours.
podcasts, all the time,
Yeah,
yeah.
for like six
Dude,
hours.
I was doing that
you-
on the show. On this show. On
this guy was
on Bullshit.
grinding.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, that adds to the whole RPG nature of it because,
Yes.
like, you know that anime, One Punch Man.
Mhm.
This is why I don't like RPGs that automatically scale enemies. They remove the RPG element of it. Because like what happens if you have a character that was, instead of going to fight enemies, spent 10 years doing 10 push-ups, 10 sit-ups, sorry, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, 100 whatever, like one punch man, and then you spend the entirety of your playthrough being frustrated with how weak everyone is. That's an interesting aspect of role playing. The same way we think it's beautiful when people are like, "Oh, I'm not going to level up any points. I'm just going to level one the entire game." You see a whole lot of people doing that. I
Yeah.
think the opposite is fine as well.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I definitely
yeah.
agree.
I do that with Cyberpunk every time I restart a playthrough. I do all the side missions, everything, like
Yeah.
everything, Matt. So by
Yep.
the time I go to the main missions, I'm just breezing through everyone,
Yeah,
and
that's smart.
I think that kind of makes sense. You know, you
Yeah.
spend a whole month completing all of these crazy merc missions. Obviously, you're not the same V that you started the game as. So why would you be this punk bitch ass V after doing all these side missions? When you go to the main mission, they downgrade you to like level 1 V. That wouldn't make any sense. Ty, welcome in. Ty says, "Good evening, gents." Ron
Yeah.
Slasher, I'm gonna put you on the screen, Ron. This is wild. Ron Slasher says, "Dustborn remake announced for PS5
There you
Pro."
go.
That's a bit much. Diego de los
PS5
Rios,
progressive. God, that was a terrible joke.
PS5 progressive. Nice.
Um,
That's a nice zinger. That's a nice one. Diego says, "Full slate Nadella." We're going to get into that, Diego. We're going to get into that.
yeah, it's a cool guy right
Um,
there.
Yeah. As for what I've been playing, Football Manager, obviously as usual, and as well as Lost Adelin and Indiana Jones. I haven't been
Oh
putting
hell yeah.
in, yeah, I haven't been putting in that much time, but I've enjoyed Indiana Jones, and you know, Matt, you know when you can feel you're going to finish a game.
Yeah.
Like I'm not
Oh,
even
I know.
halfway through Indiana Jones, but you know when you can feel like, oh yeah, I'll be done with this in like 2 weeks.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I'm having fun in the little like 2 3 hour spurts. I'm having fun with those, but I can tell that one Saturday, one Sunday, I'm going to get lost, and I'm going to put in like 9 hours. It's just going to happen, you know.
Yeah. It's easy to do on that game. I actually ended up beating that game. And I tell you what, I was saying a couple weeks ago, Veilguard was my game of the year. If I
Mm-hmm.
could retroactively change it, it probably would be Indy. That game was
Ooh,
like I did not I mean
game
it's
of the year.
machine games. Yeah, it's machine games. I expected it to be solid. I was a little worried at how Indiana Jones would translate to first person. But I'll tell you, egg on my face because good lord, it translated perfectly to first person. They nailed it.
Yeah,
And like,
I also took a dump on the first person. Go ahead.
yeah, dude, I remember when that was announced. Like, my whole friend group, you like, my buddy Vinny, Ham, Mike, like my buddy Bill, especially my buddy Bill, like everybody in my friend group, me included, was like, "Ooh, I don't
Mm,
know how
yeah,
that's going to work, but okay." And then
yeah.
fast forward, we get the game in our hands, and it, like I said, it works perfectly. They nailed that shit.
Mm. My favorite part, obviously, so far is the whip, for
Oh
obvious
yeah,
reasons, right?
oh
For
yeah.
obvious reasons.
It's
Hazardor Gaming says magic and dexterity builds are always easy to play in From Software. Strength builds are the toughest to players, and I play as that because it's challenging. Shout out to Hazardor Gaming.
yeah. I mean, fair enough if you
But
like
but
the
I
challenge.
I I actually disagree. I disagree. I think for me at least, magic is more complicated because of like gathering, like finding the right stuff, the right like
Oh,
incantations, a whole bunch of stuff that you need to
uh,
do, right? So your magic is like maxed out, and then maybe you can kill a boss in like 5 or 6 shots. Some people even like put in like 5 or 6 concoctions, and then they one shot bosses.
mm-hmm. Dude,
But for me, that's complicated.
that for me was so like I said, I suck at from soft games, and I was determined to see Elden Ring through, and I made a like I had to make a new character and made a mage. Once I did that, dude, I was looking up guides, where to find the best staff, where to find the Sword of Night and Flame that I got really early in the game.
That
At,
sword.
back when that shit was way OP,
Yeah,
way OP,
yeah.
and you could just go into a boss fight even at a lower level and just one shot, maybe two shot bosses. It
Mm,
it was like that's how I was beating that game. That's how I was doing it.
yeah. Well, for me, hey, Vincent Vega. Good evening. Welcome in, Vince. Hazardor says you can look up build easy. Yeah, yeah. I did look up
Mm-hmm.
those guides. I did, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'm just an idiot. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an idiot because I found it I don't know. Maybe not irritating. Maybe that's not the word, but just I I I I didn't
Cumbersome.
enjoy it. Yeah, cumbersome.
Takes up a lot of time looking
Yeah,
up
where
literally everything.
yeah, and then you have to like these one shots that you're talking about, Matt. You have
Mm-hmm.
to like chant this first, then chant this, then chant that, and then you can do the big super shot. And
Yep.
for me, I much rather, and also I think it's cooler, just spend, I don't know, 30 hours grinding to max out strength and vitality, and then just grab any fucking cleaver and just start swinging.
Sure. And to be fair, that's why the game was probably so easy. I say so easy. I got my ass kicked a lot towards the end of that game, but like that's probably why it was so easy because I was doing that as well. I was
Mm,
looking up literally everything I needed to know. Anytime
yeah,
I had a question, where do I get a better staff than this? Where do I get a better weapon? I looked it up. Any like armor sets, whatever. I looked all that shit up. And on top of that, I was every time we were podcasting, I was on Elden Ring farming that damn
grinding,
chicken. Yeah,
grinding the chicken.
absolutely. I was
Speaking
never
of,
mind, I can't say that.
oh my goodness. Speaking of people that beat Elden Ring, welcome in, Ham. How you doing, bro?
What's up?
What you been playing besides the W that
Um,
you put up on the screen?
I've been playing The Witcher, actually trying to get into that game.
W. W.
L.
Shut the fuck up. Look, it's a W. Mind your
Which
business, bud.
which Witcher game, Ham?
3. Been trying
Okay.
to get into it.
You don't sound like you're having fun, Ham.
Um, that's what Matt said.
Yeah. Well, the
I'm just saying.
other night specifically, you
You mean
didn't sound
yesterday?
like you. No, it was like 2 nights ago when you were
No, it was
fighting
yesterday.
the botchling, right? That was like 2 nights ago.
Well, yeah, there's a botchling, but yesterday you asked me the same question and you laughed
Oh, okay, yeah.
when
I
I
don't remember.
said I'm playing The Witcher. You're like, you don't sound too
Oh, yeah, you're
burned up
right.
about it, and I was like, yeah.
Uh,
I'm just still kind of getting used to the. I'm still kind of getting used to the just the traversal of the game and stuff like that. So fast traveling. I don't like the idea of having to go to a stupid fucking post to fast travel. That's like outside of a town. I'm just not a huge fan of that. Just
Good
wasn't.
times, good times.
The horse riding, it is some of the best horse riding, but it's
Yeah.
also kind of frustrating because it's like also in some of the tightest spaces.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, I don't know, man. It doesn't really feel like I can ever take off with my horse. It feels like I'm always like, it feels like I'm doing like a drift track with like a McLaren. It just doesn't make any sense to me personally. Like it feels just, it feels like the horse is cumbersome because of that. Trails super
Yeah.
tiny, all these towns. I'm just running into people and I just don't even care. Yeah. So, but like I do see the loop being fun. Finding the clues are pretty fun. I was playing a little card game called like Gwent or something like that. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
The game itself is pretty fun. It just has some things that just slow it down to the point where I'm just like, it just kind of doesn't feel like I'm really doing anything for long periods of time in between, and it gets frustrating.
Yeah.
And that's my frustration. Like I don't have any frustrations with the combat. I think the combat's fun. I like doing the spells. The dialogue I don't really have a problem with, but then again, some things I care about and some things I don't. But I think that's with a lot of RPGs, right? You choose what you care about, you choose what you don't. But yeah, just some of the nuance things I'm not completely in love with. I haven't really got a good routine of selling things in that game quite yet. Like I don't really understand like where I'm selling and where I'm buying from, but I'm also fairly early in the game, so I don't want to completely blame it on the game. But I'm also gonna say I'm not really like two things I'm not really interested in because they haven't really interested me in it within the game is crafting
Oh hell yeah.
and buying things. Like those two things I haven't really and the crazy thing is I have to do one or the other. So it's either I gotta craft good gear or I gotta buy new good gear. Right? I have to do one or the other. But like
Yeah.
it's weird that I'm not really interested in either one right now. And I don't know. Like it has its fun moments, but like I said, it's frustrating moments too. I've yet to see why this is as touted as high as it is. I'm still waiting for that moment.
I heard it happens when you finish the game.
Oh no.
When the wild hunt
Don't
finally
listen to Luke.
finds you.
Don't listen to Luke.
Matt, not exactly a ringing endorsement of one of your favorite games.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's playing it for the first time.
All right.
I mean,
Let's
really
see what
trying
happens.
to play for the first time.
Third time actually.
Yeah, but you're like
Third time.
really trying to you're trying to get into it.
Yeah, the first two times I didn't. The very first time I bought it on the Switch, and I like ejecto-citoed cuz that one. I was out.
Dude.
I was fucking out of here with that.
I made that
And
same mistake buying it on the Switch.
then the second time was when they sold it here not long ago for update on the Series S and X. And I think Starfield was coming out soon or something. Like, I don't remember. Something was
Yeah.
coming out that I
Mhm.
was just like, I can't really, I can't, and nor do I really care enough to
Yeah.
get into this game right now. And now that I beat Stalker, Indiana Jones is fun, but I'm not. But for whatever reason, like I think it's because I blitzed through Metaphor, Stalker, and Dragon Age Belguard, which none of those games are short. And I blitzed through all three of those that now my brain's just kind of like, bro, chill. And
What's the rush?
yeah, so like Indiana Jones is not a game that I'm trying to rush and beat, although I'm having a blast whenever I turn it on and play it. Every time I turn it on and play it, I find myself just running around beating the shit out of people.
Yeah, dude.
Like I do that and I steal, and I'm just a degenerate whenever I turn on that game. And then I try to get a little bit more story into it and whatnot. But I don't know, in my house as of lately, it's been kind of tough because I got family in town right now, and with my daughter and stuff like that, she always wants to talk and hang out and chill and whatnot. And that game, I want to focus on the story, and it just hasn't been super easy lately just to sit down and focus without being called into the room or got to go do something. And then I just got done going to the Game Awards, so I have had time to do anything because of that as well. And it's Christmas is right around the corner, so I mean I got excuses up the up the wazoo for it. But all in all, my whole reason that I haven't beat it yet is just because probably that I just thrashed 3 huge games and I'm a little tired. Honestly, I'm a little tired.
He's human, ladies and gentlemen. He is human.
Yeah.
Uso Vinny, welcome in, says the Yo Down.
Vinny.
Appreciate that. Yodani Casada, thank you so much. Says Loke talking under his government name. Quick side note: the government or the people claiming to be the new government have given us a break for the holiday period, but starting next week, Monday, it's on like Donkey Kong again. So, yeah, good times. Good times. Anyways, let's get to the news.
One thing I did want to
Yeah.
one thing I did want to kind of announce is I am probably gonna be starting back up on that whole behind them sticks thing again next year. It may be in a different format, so it might not be live anymore per se. But I'm still kind of figuring out if I want to do it live anymore or not. Because there is some things that I want to try to do differently. This time it's going to be more on the developer and actually within the gaming industry interviews instead of just common gamer type things. Because I feel like there's just so many developers out there, small or big, that there's always somebody to talk to. And I just kind of did just a test last night and just messaged like 15 different people. And I woke up this morning and I had 4 hits.
Nice.
So I was just like, all right, well, I guess it's on. I was like, I guess it's on. So I'm gonna go on ahead and start hollering at developers particularly. And it's not gonna be just for Xbox, just for PlayStation, just for PC or Steam or mobile or Nintendo or whatever. It's just gonna be like, yo, I see you're cooking up a game. Talk about what it's like cooking up a game today for this type of development, this for a mobile game now, or for this, and who knows, you might run into something on this channel, or maybe I might run into somebody that's outside of this channel that has never seen this channel before and was like, oh, well, I'm actually into mobile games, or I'm actually into Xbox, PlayStation, or Unreal Engine, Unity, or whatever the fuck, and they want to hear a little bit more about it and give them the opportunity to kind of throw some shine on whatever they happen to be working on, so I could share that out. And that's why I'm not sure if I wanted to have it be live or not
Yeah.
live yet, because if it's not live, then I'll have time to implement some of their gameplay and like things that like I'll actually be able to kind of bake in the ads for him for his stuff, rather than doing it live and asking him to bring X, Y, and Z to the show with him. So
Yeah.
Okay. Plus,
something I'm working
it'll be
on, but
easier
that
to
will be
schedule.
starting in January. This Thursday, I am still going to be hollering at King David. He will be here. So those of you that like to light up the chat, you're gonna have two Xbox guys sitting right here. You can say whatever the hell you want. Best believe we will give you that work if we need to. But
Ron Slasher says my
Thursday,
toilet
me
is an
and,
Xbox.
me and King David, yeah.
Ron
And that will
Slasher,
probably be my
hey,
last
that's
Thursday
fun.
show for the year too, because I got a medical procedure on the 26th that I gotta go in for, and that is next Thursday. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like out of commission for like a day after that.
Yeah, actually, the 26th is my birthday, so it's gonna go well because only good things happen on my birthday.
That's not true.
It is factually
Man, I'm
true.
not making that joke. God damn it, Lou.
It is factually true. All right, it is factually true. I checked with Dr. House. I did check. Anyways,
checked with 2 Chains as well.
3 Chains. His name is 3 Chains. Don't disrespect.
Looks
him.
like
Say it
I know what
full name.
all I want from my birthday.
Oh my! Oh, all right. Let's get into it. Microsoft CEO says being an Xbox player means
Louis style.
settle down now.
It's a great
Microsoft
song.
CEO says being an Xbox player means playing games on, and I quote, all your devices. And
Look wants
quote.
that GTA 6 fucking hood banger, and I'm not talking about song.
Ham, you're not doing anything
He's
for
slamming
PG
that hood,
rating.
right?
You're not
He's like,
doing
why
anything
you
for
beat
PG
my
rating.
hood? And then you get out and look and you're like, oh, okay, you can keep beating it.
You're not doing anything for a PG rating, bruv. Seriously. Like, we're losing sponsors at this point. We're losing
It's like a
sponsors.
PG show.
So yeah, here's the quote. This is from videogamechronicles.com. Recently, the company introduced a new marketing campaign titled "This is an Xbox," in which it highlighted that Xbox's strategy moving forward is making Xbox games available on virtually all entertainment devices via the cloud. While this caused concern among some console owners who worried that this strategy would take focus away from its traditional offerings, Microsoft has since doubled down on plans. As spotted by GameFire, Microsoft addressed the future plans of its gaming business during last week's annual shareholder meeting. And I quote, "Shareholders are also interested in our gaming business," said Brett Iverson, Microsoft's Vice President of Investor Relations. "Our acquisition of Activision Blizzard King, Satya, how are you feeling about the early return on that investment and the progress on our overall gaming strategy over the last year?" So Satya's response, this is what like burned up the internet yesterday. He said, "I'm feeling very, very good about where we are in gaming. In fact, right now, this is like the peak season in gaming. Obviously, with Black Ops and the new Call of Duty, it's just been fantastic to see the launch and the marketing around it, the buzz around it, and the love for gaming. If I think about it right now, we chose the secular growth category in entertainment, which we think is gaming, and said, let's double down on it. Nadella expanded. And so we said, let's take that joy of gaming everywhere. And that's why even these ads with Xbox now, where we are redefining what it means to be an Xbox fan, it's about being able to enjoy Xbox on all your devices. And more importantly, I think in the long term, as a company, we can bring the best of the AI innovation, cloud innovation, console innovation, PC innovation to build the best games that can be enjoyed by gamers everywhere. This is it. Like this part here of the quote. This is where Twitter caught fire.
Yeah,
Type shit.
Type shit. All right, give us your
that
thoughts. Ham.
shit,
Why is
Type
this
shit,
type?
bro. Type
that
shit.
shit, that shit.
Are y'all sober today? What the hell?
Shit,
I did. I'm always sober.
Shit, man. I'm sober as bro. I'm just standing on business.
Yeah, if I was not sober, you would know, brother.
Okay, so please tell me why this is not a declaration of surrender from Satya Nadella.
I
We standing
mean,
on business, man. We just standing on business.
You sound like King David right now. What is that voice, Ham? Move away from the mic.
What do you
All right.
mean?
It sounds like you're trying to whisper like ASMR stuff into my ear.
We standing
Move
on
back.
business. Is
Move
that
back.
better?
I'm gonna call HR on your ass.
We on business.
That's
I'm
it.
telling you right
That's
now.
what you got?
I'm telling you right now that I got my answer, my question answered, and it's the same question that I got asked in spring,
Mhm.
summer, fall, and now it's winter. And I keep telling y'all that hey, if they're still making a console where I can purchase and continue to play all my stuff on, I will probably get it.
Regardless if the game is also on other platforms.
Yo, I'm not gonna pay $70 to play something I don't even want.
You're not a sucker.
I mean, hey, if that's what you calling the people, that ain't on me. I'm not gonna go there and call people suckers. I'm just saying, hey, I'm already in this ecosystem. You just said, hey, the cookout is now welcome to all types of motherfuckers. Like blocks that wasn't allowed to, come and eat before are now able to come and eat. But they gonna have to pay a little more to come and eat. You gonna keep paying the same. And I mean, that's where I'm just kind of like, I mean, it is what it is. Right? Because majority of the games I was playing already is what Xbox had available. And I was all and I haven't like I've been doing that since 2000. Right? So if you want to talk about me missing games, there's plenty of games I missed on the PlayStation 2 when I had my OG Xbox. I mean, I could say the same thing about like having a Nintendo or whatever, right? Now we're talking about like, oh well, PlayStation will be able to have everything that you have, but you won't be able to have everything that PlayStation has. And then I look back at you and I say, what the fuck is the difference than the last fucking 30 years of my life? Like the last 30 years of my life, I bought something that had everything that I needed, and if it didn't, then I bought something else. So I'm still living in the same household. Y'all are the one that's different now. In my opinion, that's the way I look at it, because now you guys are saying, hey, I'm just gonna purchase a PlayStation and I'm done. But like to me, I'm just looking at it as basic mathematics. Like if Xbox is coming out with 4 to 5 games a year, y'all are paying way more than I am to have this shit. And who knows if I even want to own every game that comes out. Like I'm not over here hoarding games, nor am I hoarding shit for my digital library. If I don't like something, I'm mad that I bought it. Tiny Tina's, take that shit back. Like, please.
Oh man.
If there was a way for me to eject that out of my digital library, I would. But you see what I'm saying? So now everyone's saying, why do you still rock with Xbox? Well, it's simple. They got everything I want there. The price is just the last month and a half, I would have spent like $400. Like $400. Am I lying?
Yeah. A lot of money.
And I'm not just talking about like, so I'm adding everything up together, right? So I'm including games that aren't in Game Pass, like Metaphor, Dragon Age, and all that stuff. But let's remember, I got to throw in Stalker now. I beat that game. That's a $70 game.
Right there.
Flight Simulator. That's like what, $60, $70 game. What's it? Indiana Jones. That's a $70 game. And you don't even have that over there yet. You don't even have that over there yet. And what's another game? I know there's one game. Oh, Call of Duty. Fucking Call of Duty. Come on.
Yeah.
Call of Duty. I haven't played Call of Duty
like that's
since 2008.
That's why I'm at, man. You know how much I spent for that?
How much?
Let's just call it 2 months. Let me round up. $40. I spent $40 to play all that and some. Keep in mind, I got $20 within those 2 months back from the rewards program. So how much did I really spend? $20. So would I rather do that or spend $70 just so I can get on Twitter and tell everybody, hey, the games is over here, and have a crazy amount of people like it? And I mean, that's hey. If that's your thing, that's your thing. But at the end of the day, and I've told y'all this many other episodes prior, I want to save money. I don't want to spend shit that I don't need to spend. Y'all out here flexing I bought stuff at full price is something that you won't see me doing.
What about supporting the devs, dude?
What, bro? I'm about flexing how much I saved. What about the? What do you mean? What about the devs?
What about the poor devs?
The poor devs
what about
that are
those
paid.
execs?
The poor devs that are already paid before I'm in the situation, and I have to buy it.
What about Andrew Wilson's new yacht?
Oh no! Is he gonna invite me on it if I buy it?
No.
If I buy it, will his third cousin invite me onto his, just U-boat or whatever the fuck you want to call it? I said U-boat like it's a fucking World War II. That's fucking nuts. But anyway, who knows if he has one? But
pretty nuts.
Millionaires
in their money, man.
Yeah, hey, bro, you never know what people got.
You never know.
Real shit. But you see what I'm saying? Like, why do people advocate to worry about the rich pockets?
Because hold on, I'm struggling a bit to play devil's advocate. Because you need to pay for the industry to survive.
Yeah, you do. You also need to come out with a product that's worth paying full price for.
That exactly.
Exactly. And then on top of that, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Matt, but I'm gonna
No,
throw
go
this
ahead.
one out there as well. You also have to remember that I wasn't in control of them putting it on the subscription service, and they did that. So asking me to, oh, you should pay full price for that if you want them to make a new game, it's like, yo, bro, like Xbox put it on a subscription service because they think it's worth it. And guess what? The people that made the game had to say okay to that. like newsflash. People have to say okay for things to happen, or else you're what's called a thief. So, with that being legal, I'm just doing what's best for me, and I'm happy about it. And
As a
I tell you
consumer.
what, when I find something that I'm like, man, this is cooking, I buy it.
Yeah.
It's really that simple. I mean, I don't know how many times I've streamed The Office TV show and then eventually like bought a season or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many times I like things sometimes just like earn their place. Like First Descendant, that was a free to play game, right? I played way too much time of that game to the point where I was just like, bro, I gotta spend some money on something.
Because it was good.
Exactly. It was
Yes.
like, bro, like you guys gave me so much content and I want to now do this, but you're saying, hey, you can grind another whatever the fuck and you might get it or you can just get it now. And I'm just like, yo, you're giving me the opportunity to do it, but I'm just like, fuck it. I can do that now. And I'm not even talking about like paying to raise levels or anything. I'm talking about like a skin. I'm talking about fucking like the battle pass, just stuff to be like, hey, I'm getting more things because I'm more involved into the game, but they never forced me to. And that's nice. And I'm not saying every game needs to be a free to play game, but what I'm saying is if you're going to market something that I have to buy $70 full on, it can't be like what I've seen on Intergalactic, which I know that's not going to be their last trailer. But I'm just saying, like, that can't be the trailer for you to be like, all right, go spend 70.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Intergalactic did not convince you.
The
Dude, that trailer
graphics
was horrible.
The graphics convinced me that this was going to be an expensive game, but there was nothing within that trailer that convinced me that, hey, get ready, grab a controller. Like there's just certain things I'd need to see more of, right? I think it'd be the same thing for any game that's a new IP. Any game that's a brand new IP should show you a little something, and I think they will. And I have total patience with them. I mean, this is a new IP from right now. Naughty Dog is doing exactly what I asked of them to do. Do a new IP, make something outside of the Last of Us and Uncharted world.
I do remember you bitching about that a couple of months ago.
Yes, they did
Like, I hope they
exactly
don't
what I
make
asked
another
them
one.
to do. So now I just need to see.
Yep.
All right, you did 60 to 75% of what I asked you to do. Now I just need to see what it means. Now, like what does all this mean? What like when you wrap up and give me the present when I unbox it? What am I gonna feel? And right now, I just seen somebody talking to somebody through a voice call, and they got ready to attack somebody, and that was it. And they're in a Porsche.
Hell yeah, wearing
To
Adidas.
be honest, that was a novel idea. A Porsche spaceship.
But to me, that told me about as much as Concord did when it first came out. And I'm not saying this game is going to be Concord. I'm just saying, hey, for a while, it was just maybe it gave me a little bit more context because it gave me somebody to look at instead of Concord being like, here's a fucking burger.
Here's a jiggly burger.
Yeah, right. So I'll say that it did better than Concord in that, but at that point, even after I watched the Concord trailer last year, I was like, that's a silly trailer. I didn't learn anything from it. And if you would have told me what we got earlier this year was what I seen last summer, I would have thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
To be honest, because I remember a lot of us, including myself, I was like, man, this would be cool if it was like something like a Destiny almost, or like maybe I'm meeting up with some people to go do something, and it's gonna be in like some sort of like real world type crackdown type of universe where it's actually a real city and we're running around it doing fuckery or something like that. But it ended up not being anything like that.
Yeah. Pretty much. Raichi, welcome in. Infinite Umbra, Sour Blow, Retro, the family man, welcome. You guys make sure to smash the like button as usual. Big B Money as well, welcome. Says it really a game call of the booty, everyone. It's an inside joke that we have over here. We call it call of booty because it's good. Anyways, Matt, what did you think of these comments, especially the ones highlighted on the screen from Satya Nadella?
So
Hey, Fark, welcome in. Fark, welcome.
let's take the joy of gaming ever. Dude, I think Satya Nadella, I was talking to him about this. I don't like that quote. And I've made it pretty clear over the last, I mean, it's been going on for about a year at this point, this whole like multi-platform strategy. I don't like it, but I can't do anything about it, so I really don't care. Like, I'm not going to change. Me being upset isn't going to change, obviously, because so many people are upset. It's not going to change what they're doing. They're just going to have to find out if it works, and if it works, then good on them, and if it doesn't work, then they're going to have to correct course again. But in the meantime, me being upset one way or the other about it isn't going to change much. This quote is pretty dumb to me because it's just like, dude, redefining what it means to be an Xbox fan. It's like nobody was asking you to redefine what it means to be an Xbox fan. Like, you made the Xbox, there's games on it. You finally gave us games on it because that's what we've been asking for over a decade. And now all of a sudden you're like, we're gonna redefine what it means to be an Xbox fan. Why? Why are you doing that? I mean, we'll find out, but like, I don't know. It was just a bunch of CEO talk, which makes sense because he's the CEO of Microsoft and he's talking to a bunch of shareholders. So it's like, I wasn't expecting him to say some revolutionary shit, but I don't know. The whole quote just kind of stinks to me personally.
You mind if I hop back in?
Go for it.
So I'm not like, I mean, like I said many a times, like I'm still kind of like whoa with the whole strategy idea of just kind of being everywhere and whatnot.
Mhm.
But again, like I always wonder what the fuck, like, what do you guys have in your back pocket? Like, Microsoft always seems to have something in their back pocket. And it always seems like every generation, or a generation to a generation and a half later, we're always like, Microsoft already knew. God damn. Microsoft already knew. God damn. So I'm wondering, like, I wonder how this correlates to that, because remember the whole DRM thing and whatnot, and the whole sharing screens and being able to talk to people, Xbox Live, and just all these different things that they brought into the norm from being almost taboo, right?
Yeah.
So seeing all of that makes me kind of wonder, because we're starting to see right now we're saying, oh, the only ones that we haven't seen is Nintendo doing any of this, and Nintendo would never. But I think about 10 years ago, we would have said all of that same stuff about PlayStation. We would have literally said all of that same stuff about PlayStation. They would never, yada, yada, yada. But one thing that we're not talking about is how Nintendo is working in mobile more and more and more. They're not really working as much with PlayStation or with PC as much, but they're definitely working with some mobile.
Yeah. They have like a couple
So,
of games
so
on the
just
platform.
because we're not seeing a shift like Microsoft and Sony doesn't mean Nintendo is stagnant. They're doing their own thing. They're just doing it in a different way. It's almost like an under the radar type of way. Because they're purchasing like mobile companies, putting out mobile Mario games and stuff like that you could buy via Apple or whatever it's called, the Apple Store and iOS and Android and whatnot. So I'm wondering because we already know some of the purchases made by Sony in the recent years have been to bolster up some of their multi-platform games to be able to distribute them as well. We already know about Marathon, as much as people want to say it, but that's not the same. It kind of is. It's still a Sony brand now. It's under Sony's umbrella. And here recently we heard about the possibility, which I'm not in any way, shape, or form interested in. The Horizon Lego game possibly coming over to Xbox. I don't know.
You are
If that's
frothing
true.
at the mouth, Ham.
I'm.
You cannot
what
wait
the
to
hell
play
am
that
I
game.
frothing at the mouth for something I'm not gonna play?
You cannot wait to play that banger.
No, I don't even know. I'm not even buying that for my daughter. I'm sorry, she can't play that. That is not allowed on my hard drive of any platform. but yeah. So I'm interested to see what's kind of been going down. We know sales of games for PlayStation in the last few years hasn't been the best. So I'm interested to see what they do kind of moving forwards. What's their course of action? I'm interested to see what kind of trade or deal Microsoft has made with Nintendo. So I'm more or less interested to see once Nintendo gets out a new console and they have an actual Call of Duty on it, what's that going to mean? Right? What's their hardware specs and stuff like that going to look like? Are we going to see things like Indiana Jones come out on there? Is it going to be good like that? So I'm more or less just kind of interested in how things are going to change across the board, because I keep hearing Microsoft say this, and it's kind of and as much as people don't want to believe, the stagnation of consoles or whatever, we do see Sony making some moves that they, like I said prior, that they would have never made before. So, I mean, obviously, if they're making moves like what they're making, something is changing. So there is some truth to a statement, but I don't know if their whole pivot, as large as it is good right now. But I don't know. We'll just have to see. It'll be interesting to see the next couple of years, because they have kind of said for sure we're gonna make new devices. For sure we're gonna be supporting. We're gonna be supporting other devices as well. We're gonna definitely be. They've made a lot of. They've made a lot of statements as if they are very lenient on gaming right now. So the idea of that everyone's having that they're going to be leaving gaming, or not leaving gaming, but leaving the console space, to me, I just think I to this day still think that's insane. Like, that's just 30 million people. I don't know how people look at that and just look past it so quickly. That's crazy to me.
And also, if we're going to sit here and say, we believe that they're giving up because Satya said X, Y, and Z, and we believe that they're leaving because Phil said no red lines, then we have to believe this here in the quote. Because Satya said, and more importantly, I think in the long term, in the long term, as a company, we can bring the best of the AI innovation, cloud innovation, console innovation. So any idea, whoever champions the idea that they're leaving the console space, then also needs to say, okay, we're not listening to what Satya says. And if you're not listening to what Satya says, then they're not going third party. So which one is it? Right? Because
Yeah.
he did literally said console innovation in the long term. So
Yeah. I think the thing for them is like, or what's going to change is, I mean, obviously the multi platform thing, but like, I think the reason that they're so comfortable with doing this is kind of what Ham was alluding towards, or the question Ham was asking, like, why is this what they're doing kind of thing. I think they're so super comfortable with it they're because whatever they have for next generation in terms of their hardware it's already going to be more open. Like I think whatever it ends up being, the handheld or the actual console, it's going to be more open in terms of like Phil likes to talk about Steam and Epic and all that stuff on there. If that's the case, then this whole conversation really works both ways because we could have the same conversation for PlayStation. Because if Microsoft makes a console that has Steam on it, it's going to have God of War on it. It's going to have Uncharted on it.
what?
It will, dude. I
I'm
have
not
my
laughing
Steam.
at you. I'm
I
not
have my
laughing at you. I just
okay.
seen what's on the screen
Gotcha.
right now.
Wow, that's great.
Fark, please send me that picture. Please. Please, for the love of Kojima, send me that picture.
You should
God
make
damn.
that your profile picture, honestly.
Yeah, go ahead, Matt. I think I'm gonna make that my new profile picture for next year. Fuck it.
No, you absolutely should. Should be no thinking about
On the
that.
on the 1st of January, that's my profile picture. Intergalactic
Hey,
logo.
make it. That's your early Christmas present. Go ahead and make it your profile picture now.
Oh my
Honestly,
goodness. But yeah,
it's a
go
good
ahead, finish your
picture.
point, bro. Finish your point.
No, but like, yeah, it's if that's what their plan is, and again, we'll have to see if that's really what they're doing. But if that's the plan, then this whole conversation is, I wouldn't say it's moot, but it just works both ways. Unless in that scenario, Sony's like, hey, we like putting our games on Steam, but sorry, Gabe, we're going to have to, you can't have them. You can't have them on the next whatever from Xbox. In which case, I don't know how they, like, do they just
Oh,
implement like a
are you proposing that Sony would be, would like stop putting their games on Steam as soon
I
as
don't know. I
Xbox be like integrated Steam into their system?
That's the thing. I don't know. I'm wondering if they can do that. Is it as simple as saying, "Hey," because obviously you're not going to pull your game from Steam, because that's like the worst thing you could possibly do to your game, especially when your games have traditionally been on Steam.
That's
Like
dumb.
that's the worst thing you could do. So obviously they're not going to do that. But I'm wondering, is it as simple as them going to Valve and saying, "Hey, we want our games on Steam, but not on this specific machine"? And if so, can a block be implemented? And if not, well, then they're going to have to just get over it because it's just going to be there. Just in the same way that, we're talking about Microsoft and their third party strategy, and Phil likes to say no red lines or whatever. It's like maybe we'll see Halo on a PlayStation, but in the same breath, if this is their plan, then you're going to see God of War on Xbox. You're going to see all of that stuff. It's going to
That's
go both
crazy.
ways. So, and if that's the plan, if that's what we're really gearing up for, then all of this whole conversation is kind of moot because it's at that point everyone has everything. So it doesn't really matter anymore. It just
I
you just
think we're
buy.
looking at a
I
future where
can't
that
picture.
is what it is, but it's going to be app based. I feel like we've been talking about this for the last few years, right? Where at some point, all these different companies are going to be app based, right? Like your HBO, your Netflix, your yada yada, right?
Yeah.
And to think that somebody's or to think that Microsoft is possibly gearing up to do that in particular, possibly would be kind of interesting. But I think what we're seeing is them kind of bet on technology in the sense of you're not going to need all this hardware that we keep selling you every 7 to 10 years. You're going to eventually just have a device that doesn't really need all of that. And I don't know what that even means exactly. But I personally think maybe it's too early for the sense that like internet infrastructures are just not good enough yet. So I'm not sure if they're betting on the internet more and more now, or if they're gonna have some sort of AI tool that will assist with delivering games in a smaller package somehow to a device.
I mean, there's the whole thing NVIDIA's working on with the neural processing, which is just like taking load off of, from what I understand, just taking load off of like actual GPU rendering and putting a lot of it on AI. And if that's the case, then you would assume AMD would probably do something maybe the next generation. So, because they're usually a generation behind in that aspect. And if that's the case, AMD is what's in all these consoles. So, I mean, if that's something that they can do, and it's like now the console doesn't cost super like a ton of money to manufacture because you're not having to put crazy specs into it because a lot of it's offloaded into AI, then that probably is exactly what you're talking about, or that could be exactly what you're talking about in that sense.
See, I see what Ray Chi is saying. He said internet infrastructure is good. X Cloud just sucks. No, I'm talking about for the world, bro.
Yeah,
Like
for
I'm not talking
worldwide.
about for like your city or your town. I'm talking about like, hey, can Loke just play an Xbox without having to deal with an internet connection when he travels 50 miles north?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. Like that's what I mean by internet infrastructure. It's for the world, not for hubs that have good internet. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna double up on what Matt's kind of saying right here. I mean, I agree with that, but I mean, but to add to that, the hardware that we've been getting just throughout this generation, most of it isn't really super duper like adding crazy amount of more like like the powerful, like a more powerful GPU and stuff like that. Like it feels like a lot of things are getting assisted and called it in being called a next generation, right? So like if you look at the 30 series cards and the 40 series cards, you can argue that some of the 30 series cards had more raw power in it.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong, Matt?
Yeah, good. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, I'm wrong.
No, you're right. You're right.
Okay, I thought you said yeah. I was like, fuck.
I was like, fight.
No, no.
Yeah. Some of the 30 series cards had more raw power in it, but like something like my 3080 versus a raw 4070, right? My 3080 has like more raw power if I'm saying this correctly. But the 40 series has software advantages that my hardware doesn't provide.
Yeah.
Being that like frame generation and shit like that.
Yep.
Like if my card was implemented at the same time, I would have that software on there. But seeing that it's new and they're like, hey, what are some ways for us to not keep adding, silicon and all this extra BS to this thing? What can we add for it just to be smarter with how it uses certain things within the power that we already have? I mean, you've seen it for decades now. There's a reason we still have a V6, a V8. It's because they've taken that engine and they figured out ways to manipulate it for it to do more than it could in previous generations. Am I wrong, Loke?
That's essentially it, yeah.
I mean, look at your Land Rover, right? What's the difference between your favorite Land Rover of next year compared to its first iteration? I'm talking about just strictly motor.
It's just tweaks. Except I would say, like the new engines, like they accelerate faster. They're more fuel efficient than the old ones, but they're not as robust and resistant to degradation. That's the one thing that I have to complain about Land Rovers.
That
But other
really
than
sounds
that,
like what most people say about old houses versus new houses nowadays.
man, couches as well. Remember, couches used to last forever. Now we
Yeah,
have to
now if
buy.
you just plop down wrong the one day, that whole thing break in half.
That's it. That's it.
Especially my big ass.
Yeah.
That's same.
But yeah,
Matt's like,
essentially,
I've busted a couple couches. Yeah.
Dude, I tell you what, I've only busted one chair. This is I'm not gonna go into a big tangent, but I've only done that to one chair in my life, and I tell you the amount of just shame, the amount of just shame and discomfort. I was like, I don't ever want that to happen.
Dude, I've busted 3 couches.
yeah.
Oh shit,
3. And it's because when I sit, I don't sit. I plop.
no, you fucking you drop.
Yes,
drop.
I do that a lot.
Yeah,
Damn.
And I'm talking about through like a 25-year period. I busted like 3 couches doing that.
Wow.
Yeah,
At least you're consistent, bro.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, hey, when I am done with the day, I am done with the day. And sometimes when I fall on that couch and I hear that click, I'm like, yeah, okay. Time for a new one.
Couch is like I
wait
got
till you
you
lose
for
them.
like 1 more month, bro.
Bro,
I
it
got
didn't
you for
matter.
1 more month.
Like I busted the couch back when I was 200 pounds, and now I'm like closer to like I'm on the decline, but I'm closer to 3 now.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah, it's easier to do now for sure.
It's real something. But yeah, but going back to your analogy, the engines are essentially they are better. Like all around, the engines are better.
They are, but you see exactly what I'm saying. It's still a V8.
Yeah. Yes.
Or
Yes.
V10
It's still,
or
and this is
whatever.
another L. This is another L I have to take on the show, but it is what it is. Essentially, these engines are just like the creation engine.
Bro,
It's
talk
the-
about
it's the
id
same-
tech. Talk about
it's
it.
Oof.
It's the
Yeah.
essentially the same damn thing, but depending on which developers you have on, which engineers you have on, it will look drastically better as the time goes by, or it'll look just a little bit better.
So now I gotta ask, or I'm not really asking, but I'm just saying, like, now Microsoft came out about a month ago and said, I mean, PlayStation just went on ahead and did it, but Microsoft went on ahead and said, "Yo, what are we gonna do? Making you incrementally better hardware this generation. It's not worth it." And we're seeing on the PlayStation 5 Pro that sometimes it's a little bit worth it, but most times it's pretty close to the same.
Sometimes it's worse. Ask the pisser.
Well, yeah, but I think that's due to the upscaling, the upscaler on it, right?
It
I'm
doesn't
trying to give
matter
it a
the
little
reason,
bit of
Ham.
leeway, but for the package that you paid to get it, it's kind of like that should make it better. You
And that's my
you
point.
advertise that to make it better, and now developers are taking it out, and that was part of the package that you sold me.
And that's my point.
And
So
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not.
yeah.
I'm not
So
arguing
I know if
why. I'm
Loke
not
got it, he would be
arguing,
on fire right now. If Loke got it, he would be
bro.
on fire.
I'd be pissed
For
right
me,
now.
I'm much more understanding than Loke. Call me a sucker if you want. I'm just I'm a little bit more understanding and thinking, maybe this thing needs like a 2.0 or some things need to be worked out over some time. I want to give it a chance. I'm hoping that they don't just say, "Hey, we had this idea," and just give up on it.
Yeah, no, they won't.
But I'm hoping that they stick to it and then make it into something that is worth it. So the next generation, when there is a PlayStation 6, that they have their own type of upscaler. And one thing that I'd hope is that they don't force or try to get people to use their upscaler. I think really they just need to get more games, more IPs, more companies, and just have them use that shit instead of expecting Ubisoft to know how to run their shit. Like maybe if they get used to it after a few years or whatnot, but at that point it has to be like the console that you're working on. It can't be an outlier console like the PlayStation 5 Pro currently is. It's an outlier right now. So it's like you're working extra hard for something that's not even the most popular product. Right? You're working hard for minimal games essentially. Or minimal. I mean, you're not even getting paid more to do it, right? Because you're just putting it on a game that they already paid for.
Essentially.
Right? There's no $5 extra per, per, or obviously $5 is insane, but like no 50 cents per, purchase of the game because it has PSSR added to it. You see what I'm saying? Like there's no commission for that. Or maybe there is a commission, I just don't know it, but it doesn't seem like there really is, especially if you're asking people to do it for games 2-3 years ago. Like that's like, all right.
It's a bit extra. But going back to your point, Ham, about me not being as forgiving with the whole pisser thing, dude. When these companies charge us, they don't say, "Oh, look, you had a problem with your battery on one of your cars. So you know what? Instead of paying $799 for this PS5 Pro, why don't you go ahead and pay 500? There's no negotiating with these companies. So I'm paying full price. I should get full performance.
Oh, 100%.
That's why for me, like, there's no space to be, put the poor devs. No, dude. At no point have they ever looked at me and like, you know what? This guy lives in Mozambique freaking Beak. Let's sell him a PS5 for $300. This guy lives in a country where the minimum salary, the minimum wage is like $100 a month.
That's a great example, look.
They've never done it. Ever. Not for me, not for anyone. But I'm supposed to feel sympathy for them. This is a two-way street, dude.
I like it, look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rachie, thank you so much for the $2 Canadian. Ham already responded to your point. So there's a couple comments here that I highlighted that I'd like to go back and have you guys discuss for a little bit. Where is it? All right. So Rachie said, "Let's wait and see what quote unquote Xbox Next is. If it's a PC, I will get it. If it's a 100% console with most of the best games, skipping it and needs semi overpriced expansion cards, I'm out." Matt,
Yo.
I want you specifically to respond to this one. Ham, you can get in on it if you're interested.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean, like that's a fair comment because, and that's one of the
Before
things
your
that-
next one, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Before your next one that you read, Loke, we do have a super chat I'll put on the screen after we get done with this one. But you
All right.
stay where you're at so you can still follow. But I'll put it on the screen when when it comes to time. Shout out to Glassdoor. He's the one that did it.
All right.
So like that's the thing that a lot of people are like worried about is the whole like what happens to the console. So if it's more of a PC, I mean I'm with Ray Chief. If it's more of a PC, like I'm getting it. The handheld, I already know I'm getting that. Like that's a done deal. Whenever that's ready, I'll get it. But like the console, if it's just like a regular ass console, might skip out on it. But if it's something that you're like this console hybrid with a PC, that that's really interesting. Especially, I mean, not to go off on like add a whole nother layer to this thing, but like especially with like the news recently of like a new Steam console possibly in the works. Like if that's the case, then those two things will be competing. It won't
Yeah.
so much be like everybody does this whole Xbox versus PlayStation thing. It won't be so much Xbox versus PlayStation as much as it will be at that point Xbox versus Steam or Valve or whatever you want to say. So yeah, if it's a PC, dude, I'm there 110%. I agree with Ray G on that.
All right. Ham?
Yeah, so I'm gonna say just probably regardless, I'm probably gonna get one. Just because, like I said, I like to have that ecosystem and I like to be able to have something hooked up to my TV since my wife, I'm flexing it again, Loke, since my wife loves to play games on my PC. And I like to be in the same room with her playing. And
We're
stuff
not
like that.
jealous, Ham. None of us are jealous here.
but I'm probably gonna get that regardless. I do like the idea of bringing back what Sega tried to accomplish, but failed at, which was to make one console that you just essentially put expansion packs into and stuff like that to make it like stronger.
Oh,
The
okay.
next generation, almost like what an N64 had with Perfect Dark and Donkey Kong and stuff like that, where you put the expansion pack in, your console is good for the next generation or whatever, right? Kind of like what we do with our PCs now, right? This graphics card is garbage now. It ain't gonna run this game. I'm gonna go get the next
I would
one.
be interested in that, and like an Xbox or a PlayStation console, that the way we switch out the internal HDDs, you can just get up and be like, it's the next graphics cards are out for Xbox. Instead of buying a whole new console for $1,000,
Right.
go ahead and buy this graphics card for 300, and you've got the next gen.
100%. So that's what I would really enjoy, and if they could somehow, if they can somehow do what Nintendo has yet to do and have that expansion card available for your dock, but be able to take your game off of your dock and play it in whatever it goes lowest to, like the lowest common denominator for said game or whatnot, that'd be dope as well.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Or to be able to have a separate, like an expansion for the handheld, an expansion for the dock.
Yeah,
something like that. I mean, it'd be cooler if it was all in one,
Yeah.
or if
That'd
you
be
just put it into the console, the handheld, and then whenever you dock it, it can read it, right?
yeah. Options.
Like something like that would be amazing. That's kind of what I would be ideally looking for. But yeah, if they made a PC kind of thing, that would be dope too. If they made another console, just regular kind of console thing like what we got now, I'd be with that as well. But as I've told you prior, Loke, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say before you get to the super chat, I've always been fascinated by Xbox's ability to bring really cool features into the next piece of hardware that they make. So I'm expecting if they do make another Xbox or whatnot, hopefully it still has quick resume on it. I'm expecting it to have smart delivery and shit like that. And what's called FPS boost and all that stuff for the older shit and whatnot as well. But yeah, I mean,
These are the obvious
That's
things you
one of the
expect.
reasons I stick around with my Xbox console is because I mean, it's super dope to be able to, turn off my game, go to bed, and then I don't come back to it until noon the next day, and I'm literally in the exact same spot that I left off with. I don't have to re-see the splash screen or nothing. And I mean, as much as people are like, I'll just use my PC or I'll just use my PS5, that I'm in my game like 5 minutes before you. Sorry. I am like it is like my PC can't even do that.
Yeah.
To your point about quick resume, it blew my mind when they cut the electricity. I think they cut it in the morning. We went out for like a family thing, me, my wife, and the boys, and we came back in the afternoon, late afternoon, around 5 p.m., almost evening. The lights were back on, and I turned on the Xbox, jumped into Cyberpunk, and it quick resumed, and I was like, "What?
Yeah, dude.
How does that even work?" Like, I'd like to speak to someone at Xbox so they could explain to me and break down how quick resume works, because that was crazy. My mind exploded. I was expecting the whole startup animation and whatever, but it's just like, no,
Nope.
go ahead. The lights were
It,
gone, but the Xbox was fine. So
we when we moved last year, like I unplugged all the stuff before I went to bed, like the night before we were moving. And I unplugged all my stuff. I was in like multiple different games on the Xbox. Like I had them all in quicker zoom. And I didn't plug in my Xbox until probably 24 hours later, honestly. And I plugged it in a different city and plugged it in, and it had all that stuff still in quick resume, and all of it still worked.
yeah,
It's,
I want
it's,
to know how
it's,
they do it. I don't
it's,
know how they
it's
do it.
impressive.
But yeah, you got the super chat on the screen now. Look, you can just read
Yeah.
what's on the screen and then move on to whatever's next.
Glassdoor, thank you so much for the $5 Canadian. Says the cloud streaming won't be able to handle the machine learning leap next gen. Forget the visuals. The NPC AI and game mechanics are going to be massive.
Man, that's a hell of a
Yeah.
statement there.
I'm
Yeah, dude.
assuming Glassdoor has some kind of background because it's awfully specific.
I mean, I definitely want to hear more of what they got to say because I mean,
Yeah.
I'm interested in what they mean by that the cloud streaming won't be able to take because I'd assume cloud streaming is just important what's all or it's just exporting what's already rendered on the screen.
But I think what he means, and I could be way off, is like we hear all these rumors and not really rumors, but talks about like next generation and how they like I specifically Microsoft loves the idea. Like we're seeing it this gen with Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, where like that most of that game is not on that file. Like most of it is just that's being almost all that game is being rendered in from the cloud. So
Yeah,
like
wasn't Kojima talking about he's excited to work with his game because it's
yeah,
doing something like that?
Yeah.
yeah, and that's
Running
and
off the
even
Azure server.
even back to last gen. I mean, I know the game was pretty shit and not many people liked it. Was Crackdown 3. A lot of
Oh,
that game,
man.
the whole
That was very
destruction system
disappointing.
the whole destruction system for that game was not rendered on your like that was from the cloud. So like think about what happens next gen where like AI, he's talking about NPCs, like AI and game mechanics. Like the leap's probably going to be pretty huge, and it's going to be interesting to see will the cloud be able to do all of that like on that level. We're going to find out.
Yeah.
It continues to say right here. Go on ahead and read this, Loke.
Need computing power in real time for gameplay slash NPC.
And to that, I'd just like to say that we do not have the capacity.
Semi-total capacity.
Oh my god! Someone get a handkerchief for this guy.
I love
Damn
that
it,
guy. He was
man.
devastated.
Yeah, yeah. He had a rough day. That was a rough day.
Man, it made me want to drop to my knees the way he said that. I was like, man, somebody give him the capacity.
Yeah, someone help him out. Thanks for the insight, Glassdoor Gamer. We really do appreciate that, and the super chats. Thank you so much. So when we're discussing Xbox's pivot, um, Matt says something more or less saying that you didn't like the way they were moving in, right? And I thought this was interesting because I think we're talking about them gearing up to quit, gearing up to whatever, and then Big Mad Mo says I think they're gearing up to be the leader, and it reminded me of my original point that I wanted to make to you, Matt, when you were talking about
Mhm.
Xbox's pivot or whatever. I think that this pivot would have happened had they acquired Activision or not. So even if they had acquired Sega, because a lot of people are saying that they're making this pivot specifically because they got Activision. I think even if they got Sega, even if it was Take Two, even if it was some other big publisher, I think they'd still be making this pivot.
What about no publisher? What about
I,
the
s-
Squire
I,
Studio?
I think they'd still be doing this
Okay.
because from Satya's speech there, when he's talking about reinventing what an Xbox gamer is, I think he gave Phil time to figure out and make Xbox into a big success with Phil's vision. When that didn't happen, I think it was like, okay, that didn't happen, so let's do what we're good at. And what they're good at is making people Microsoft consumers.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's why the whole Microsoft gaming, that's why the whole Xbox Game Pass seems to be the real exclusive. It's Game Pass. It's not the games themselves. It's Game Pass.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So
I totally agree with
I
that.
think it's actually a step further than that a little bit though, because not only because I see Glassdoor here saying I think Xbox will be the biggest third party publisher. I think the whole point of everything, and I've said this plenty of times. I use the Tupac reference when he was being interviewed way back in the day, where he is just like, for a long time, we knocked on the door and said, please let me in, we're hungry. Please let me in, we're hungry. And you close the door. We knocked again nicely. Please let us in, we're hungry. We sing you carols. Shit, please let us in, please. You kept closing the door. Eventually, they just kicked in the door and said, let us in. And then when they got in there, they're like, let's look around and I'm just gonna buy this fucking place. So then they bought the place. And then people are like, hey, we want some. People are now at their door saying we want some. And now they have to be the bigger man, right? Because they're the huge big bad company, right? They have to be the bigger man now. And they have and they feel the need or whatever. They also want to, line their pockets as hard as they possibly can, right? So they're just gonna work with people, get the money from them. But the I've said this before as well. The diabolical thing behind this is like you're kind of partnering up with the devil a little bit, because if you're reliant, imagine like think about this. If PlayStation is reliant on Microsoft to put out certain games for them to give big revenue, that's kind of a problem for Sony, not for Microsoft. All Microsoft has to do is make sure that the other third party publishers like a Shift Up, Ubisoft, game science and whatnot still fuck with them. If they still fuck with them, how many years are we still going to need consoles? 10, 20 years? 30 years maybe? Microsoft, they came out with that TV, that movie, that little that 3 or 4 part series talking about Xbox for a reason, in my opinion. And they stated, and I keep referencing back, they stated in that they came into making Xbox because they didn't want to lose control of the front room.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like they're slowly kind of doing a switcheroo on us, right? Where they're like, okay, we got enough of this. We're still in big time control of a lot of PCs out here. We got Windows on like 90+% of PCs out here. They're going to have to come to us regardless. And now we're going to have an application and stuff like that for them to be able to reach out and get our stuff easier. The quicker that technology and, you know, the access that we have to be able to play these games can catch up to each other, the worse it will be for actual, like, on your counter type consoles. What was the last source saying? He said he said it's not just the console. They bring them in with the console, but sell them games, subscriptions, VR headsets, controllers, etc. Bro, I just think that they're kind of putting all of this stuff together, and they're now responsible for getting the money for a lot of this different stuff. So they got all these partnerships with all these different people that are influencing now, are now being influenced by Xbox. So you've seen the ROG Ally. It's pretty much like saying, "Hey, this is an Xbox," right? It's literally the commercial right then and there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wondering how nasty this can get with them teaming up with all these different things and just throwing their sticker on the front of it, because that's essentially what they did with Call of Duty. That's what they're doing with some of the Bethesda games, you could say.
Yeah.
They were happy to throw their sticker on the Fallout TV show. Hey, that's our property. We got awards. We did it. Right? So like if they're willing to do that with the IPs and everything, I think they'd be more than happy to do that with others that would be willing to team up with them. AMD, Intel, whatever the fuck. And I think that is part of the reason behind their message of this is an Xbox, is because it's like, get ready for us to be fucking everywhere. Whether you go out and actually purchase our actual hardware or not, we're gonna be everywhere. And it's gonna be interesting because there will be hardware that says, "Hey, do you want to just fuck with us? Because if you want to just fuck with us, we got the hardware for you."
Yeah.
Just like they do with all of their computer software stuff. Oh, you need Excel, but you don't want to fuck with Dell? We got you.
That kind of rhymed. That did rhyme. You need Excel, but you don't want to fuck with Dell.
Hey,
That did
man,
rhyme.
pay me.
Oh my god. This guy. This guy. I just have a little pushback, just a little bit of pushback. I'm with you on 99% on what you said, but we're not at the point where PlayStation is depending on Xbox for big cash cow releases. I'm not saying that PlayStation is not going to make a lot of money with Xbox, but that word depending, I don't think we're there yet. because depending assumes that if you remove Xbox, PlayStation, pretty much done.
I
And
think Xbox
I don't
needed
think
Call of
that's
Duty as much as PlayStation needed Call of Duty on their actual console.
Yeah.
If Xbox bought Call of Duty and then like for whatever reason the deal went through and they're like,
nah.
Psych.
all right, for 2 years y'all can't sell Call of Duty to
Fuck you,
nobody.
man. That's a psych.
For 2 years, Call of Duty can't be sold nowhere
Oh my goodness.
for nothing. I think that would hurt the profits of both Xbox and PlayStation massively.
Yo, hurt is one thing, Ham. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm not trying to say I'm not one of these delusional fanboys that's like, oh, if Xbox wakes up tomorrow and says, okay, nothing's going to PlayStation will be unfazed, unaffected. I'm not one of these delusional fucks, right? I'm not crazy. What I'm saying is, depending. I don't think they're at the phase of depending on Xbox. It will make a difference to their bottom line. They will lose maybe 500 million, maybe 2 billion in a year, or every year that they
I
don't
think
have the
you are
Xbox.
underselling the shit out of that.
Ham, when you say depend, when you say the X depends on Y, you're saying that if you remove Y, X won't exist. I'm saying if you remove every single Xbox exclusive, PlayStation will continue to exist and continue to be the market leader. That's what I'm saying. Well, not the market leader because that's Nintendo, but it will continue to be the market leader in terms of like premium consoles because the Nintendo console is, yeah, it is what it is. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know,
That's my
Loke.
problem.
I don't know because, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. PlayStation will be well, not fine. They wouldn't be fine. They'd be hurting, but they wouldn't shut down.
No, you're probably right. They probably wouldn't shut down. I don't think because obviously, they can make it, but I don't think that like when you say they'll be fine, I don't think they'll be like Nintendo fine.
No,
Because
they
Nintendo
won't.
doesn't even need Call of Duty.
They won't. They won't. Again, this is me just being me as usual, right? You said they're depending on Xbox games, and I think the word depending is a bit much because like your daughter depends on you, and if you're not there, she's in serious trouble in terms of her
Here,
survival. Do you know
look,
what I
here's
mean?
the thing. But
Sorry.
I agree with him in the sense that, I mean, as of when did that deal go through? Like last September? As of last September, they are depending on specifically an Xbox game. Because you saw what happened when they announced they announced that they were in talks to acquire Activision Blizzard.
Jim Ryan said they didn't
Jim
have the
Ryan said,
capacity.
"What the fuck are y'all talking about?" He was livid. He was
Yeah,
ready to hurt somebody.
he fell out of his
And
seat.
dude, he like when he saw that, like they panicked because they know if Microsoft was an asshole, which we're finding out they're not assholes, but if they were
Oh, they're
assholes,
assholes. They just
they're going about it in a whole different. They're working a whole different angle. But like if they were like the assholes Sony were like they got Call of Duty and
It's a lot of asshole
Sony,
talk over here.
yeah, if Sony got Call of Duty, everybody knows that would not be on Xbox. That would not be on Xbox. There's no chance in hell it would be. And if Microsoft was that level of asshole, Jim Ryan knew right then and there they would be fucked.
But
They would be.
there's an argument that
What's the argument?
says Xbox are not assholes to the point that PlayStation are because Xbox is not the current market leader in terms of console
That's
purchasing
fair. That's totally fair.
or
But I'm
install base.
saying if Microsoft did that, where they said, "Hey, Xbox is the only place to play Call of Duty on a console. You're not playing that on PlayStation." If Microsoft said that, that would like Sony absolutely depends on Call of Duty in that sense
You know what?
because
I
you
have to be
saw
consistent.
you
You're right.
saw
No, you're right, Matt. You're right.
exactly.
You don't even have to end the statement because I'm now remembering in my mind. Jim Ryan literally said, "We won't survive." He literally said
Yes,
that.
they and he's not lying. Like, dude, they would have like they would have had to have like that's one of the reasons that this whole live service push. I mean, granted, how successful has that been for him? But like, that's one of the reasons that whole push existed was
Oh
out of out of
no.
out of the fear of of Xbox doing exactly that. And thankfully for them, Microsoft didn't do that. But if they did, they literally wouldn't have their biggest selling game. It would just be gone. And all that money would just be gone for them.
People just buy The Last of Us. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
No, they
People just buy
wouldn't.
The
No, they would
Last.
not. Look, most people are not playing The Last of Us.
Look,
Oh,
Oh,
let's go.
what is this
As we don't
business?
have the capacity.
look, you're behind yourself as well.
As we don't have the capacity.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up. That's fucked
Dude,
up.
fuck you is doing the best work.
As we don't have the capacity.
Then he put my face there. Oh my god. He put my
That's
face.
fucking beautiful. That's a good time.
Oh, heartless.
As we don't have the capacity.
All right, all right, we get it. All right. Now I don't have the capacity to keep looking at myself doing that. The hell? Fellas, Fark said, I know many people are not happy with Xbox direction. Would you be happy with the times when it was just Halo, Gears, and Forza? If what they're doing now keeps Xbox in the conversation, I'm okay with it.
That's how I feel.
Ooh.
That's how I feel.
Copy and paste.
That is how I feel, dude. If this is what they need to do to make sure I get Elder Scrolls 6, I get Avowed and Outer Worlds 2 next year.
I need
If
to
I
copy
get
and paste
Starfield,
that. That's nasty.
if I get Starfield 2 at some point, if this is what needs to happen, by all means, go knock yourself out. Do it. I'm all for it. Give me the games. I
that
really
was
don't
nasty
care.
work, Fark. Why'd you say it like that?
Yeah.
It's a fact. That he's
Why'd you
100%
say it
right.
like that, Fark?
The idea for me is I want to keep the competition going. We need to keep having the big three running and fighting each other. Whether Xbox wants to pivot to subscriptions and a hybrid console that's a PC, that's fine. But we need to have these competitors because if you
Yeah.
just have PlayStation or if you just have Nintendo, it's not going to be good for us. We're going to start paying like $2,000 for consoles.
Might start doing that soon here off these goddamn tariffs.
Jacob Novak, welcome in. Did you guys see the leaks for the supposed leaks? They're not confirmed, but the supposed leaks for the story of Intergalactic.
No,
Did you guys see the leaks?
I don't even particularly want to see them.
Okay,
If
I saw the
I'm being
leaks.
real.
I didn't want to discuss them specifically, but I wanted to hear your thoughts on the leaks if they were true. But since you guys didn't see them, it's fine.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. Where'd they leak at? I'm assuming on Twitter.
No, 4chan.
Oh well, that's why I didn't see. That's why I didn't see that. That makes sense then.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm just checking here if there's anything interesting. Ron Slasher says Amazon is a sleeping giant in gaming, waiting to get that smoke from Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. I'm gonna go first on this one. I'm not scared of Amazon. I was scared of Amazon, and then I saw Google faceplant, and it just reminded me that you need people that know what they're doing to succeed. It's not enough to have all the money in the world.
Sure, but Google just traditionally is like just a stupid company traditionally. Like when it
Hmm.
comes to making products, I mean, I guess the Google Pixel phone is pretty cool, but like when it comes to making like a product for the most part, they're pretty terrible at it. They're pretty awful. Um, but like their whole thing is the software side of things, like with Android and whatnot, and that's all well and good. But like, I don't think Google has. I'm not saying Amazon does have what it takes. I'm just saying I think Google has even less of what it takes than Amazon.
Jesus.
So, so like I
That's
think
mad disrespectful.
I could see Amazon making some sort of noise. Again, I don't think it's going to be with this whole Luna thing. I think if Amazon actually wants to make noise with gaming, it's going to have to be a console, like a real console that is not like you're just streaming something from the cloud. They're going to have to actually manufacture a real console if they want to do something. Otherwise, then yeah, they're kind of irrelevant.
Hold up, real quick, man. I'm feeling a slightly disrespected right now.
Go for it.
Okay.
No. We got like 25 people watching, and I just found out that we have like 11 likes. Like, what the fuck is that? Come on, y'all.
Like
Come
this, like
on, y'all.
like the stream.
Is that
What
what
we
we're
doing?
doing right now? We're just what are y'all all recording us or something like that? Y'all finna expose them?
Yeah, the people are here to clip us, Sam.
Come on,
We're
bro.
that big.
Hit that
We're that
button,
big
y'all.
now.
It's free. It is free. Hit the damn button. Hit that like button. Share it out if you want, but please just hit that like button. We
It's
appreciate
free and it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
it. It makes us feel good.
Yeah.
Pause. Jacob says Locomator and
Free.
Hambo
Oh,
Cop meet Matt Voorhees, insinuating that we're robots. All right.
Yeah, there you go. I see. That's what I'm fucking talking about. Yo,
Well,
Donnie out here. He talking. He talking.
what he say?
Speaking
What
to
he
my heart
say?
right now. He's speaking to my motherfucking heart right now. Right here. Your Donnie brother said
Sorry,
sorry.
Ham. Chet is standing on business.
Y'all better
Yeah.
y'all better stand. Come on. I hope you standing on the right business.
All right. All
Type
right.
shit.
Be Nice
type
says
shit.
Xbox has so many IPs and still have more acquisitions coming. Then you have third parties, so many games to play. And again, Be Nice. This is my entire point, even on the whole Amazon thing, why I'm not scared of them. Because you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't know what you're doing with it, you're not going to produce anything. To your point, even before Xbox acquired Activision Blizzard and Bethesda, they already had a ton of IPs. They already had a ton of IPs. So I'm not scared about Amazon. Jacob said, yeah, they canned 6 first party games, 6 years in the gaming space, created their own crappy engine, and was planning to open it on Steam and Epic like PC. They're grasping in the dark. They are grasping in the dark, as you would expect from someone that just rocked up. So don't worry, guys. Don't be scared of Amazon. Don't be scared of Google.
Yeah.
The the, the, the guys that are going to do damage are the guys that are currently doing damage. Go ahead, Matt.
And I agree with Jacob on that. Is like they're just they're not good. I'm just saying to your comparison to Google's a lot worse. Like so much worse. Like so unfathomably worse than Amazon.
Yeah, but bad is bad, bruv. And we're
That's
talking
fair.
about
That's totally fair. But I just thought it was kind of disrespectful to compare them to Google because Google is
yeah.
so bad. That's all I'm saying.
It's that far apart.
Dude, I mean, at least Luna's lasted more than a year, hasn't it? It's been out for a couple of years at this point. Did Stadia last a year? I don't think it did.
I don't think they did.
Yeah, so at least they got that going for them, I guess.
The rollout of Stadia was tragic.
It was pretty garbage.
That was so bad. Jeez. so freaking bad. Like I'm thinking about the whole return policy and just people's reactions to the entire thing. It was
It's
wow.
pretty sick.
It's pretty terrible.
They nailed
Anyways,
it.
they nailed it. That's all I had to say on the whole Satya thing. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to add to the discussion on Satya's speech?
Nah.
I'm gonna end it just like I started it, standing on business.
Ham sounds like he's ready to fight. I don't even understand it. It's like, bro,
Type
relax.
shit.
It's video games.
I'm tight
Type
shit.
Tight shit.
Huh.
All right, all right. Moving on. Let's get to some good, some happy news. Need for Speed turns 30, the lasting legacy of EA's fastest franchise. So, the whole article goes into the whole history, right, of NFS all the way back to 1994, and it rolls down memory lane. But I'd like to know from you guys and even everyone in the chat as well. What was your favorite Need for Speed, and what do you think the franchise's biggest contribution to gaming has been so far?
I mean, shit. Who wants to go first on that?
Ham, go ahead.
My favorite Need for Speed.
Yeah.
Oh man, my favorite one is probably Need for Speed Underground. The one that the original Underground. The
Okay.
one that I'll never forget is Hot Pursuit. The original
Yeah.
Hot Pursuit on PC.
Mm-hmm.
That was special.
Because I remember getting the El Nino, which was like a fake car. And I
Mhm.
thought that was like the coolest thing ever. And that's where I also really got into that car called Lamborghini. I think it's pronounced Countach.
Countach.
Yeah, whatever. That one. That was really cool. I remember going on a level that looked kind of like just it looked like it was fall outside, and I remember this is like one of the first levels in the game is fantastic. I agree, Ty. Midnight Club's better. I'm right there with you. But since we're talking about Need for Speed,
Yeah, we're talking about Need for Speed.
Underground, the original Underground was my favorite. Although Underground 2 was hands and feet probably better.
Dude.
Like Underground 2 was probably better, but like the original Underground and when I played those drag races in it was
Yeah, the switching gears. That was
bro, when I first
that was
did that,
cool.
like I was addicted to that game. And that right there, like if it wasn't for that, there wouldn't have been that same type of hype and love for Underground 2. So I gotta give it's kind of like how I feel about the OG PlayStation versus the PlayStation 2. Everybody loves the PlayStation 2, right? And I'd say PlayStation 2 is probably better, right? Especially since it plays backwards compatible. But like my favorite is the PlayStation 1 just for the fact that like it was so good it made the PS2 have to do what it did. Kind of like how I felt with the OG Xbox. Same type shit. Yeah, that shit.
Set the bar
Tight
very
shit.
high.
Tight shit. Tight
Bi-
shit.
yeah, something's wrong with you guys. Big Bad Mo says Underground was his favorite. Be Nice, Hot Pursuits. Vincent Vega says Hot Pursuit 2 and Underground 2. That's cheating because you picked 2. Yodani says Hot Pursuit. Jacob Novak loved
No, I
Rivals.
pick one. It's
No,
neat.
no,
It's Underground.
no, I'm saying Vince is cheating because he said Hot
Oh.
Pursuit 2 and Underground 2.
Oh yeah, he cheated.
Novak said Rivals. Wow.
That's
I don't even know which one
interesting.
Rivals is, but God bless.
I
What do
think
you
it
like?
was the one after Carbon.
Yeah, it's on 360.
Carbon was pretty cool.
Yeah, Carbon
A lot
was
of people
okay.
like Carbon.
Raichi says Underground, Pro Street, and 2015. Wow,
Dude,
Raichi, pick one, bro. Need for
I-
Weed, really? Ron Slasher.
Jesus.
Go
type
ahead,
shit.
man.
Underground 2.
Hey, I can't even hold them, man.
Underground 2 to me is the greatest racing game ever made.
Yes,
I
I
don't
agree.
I don't think there's and I don't think anything's really going to come close to it either because a
Wait,
lot of
did you say the
games,
greatest racing game? Period.
yes.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't
No,
think
I
I don't
disagree.
think something's going to come close to it just because of the fact like that level of customization, like even with all the customization you can do on like Forza and even the new Need for Speeds, it's like a lot of it isn't licensed parts and like you can't get deep into it like you could in Underground 2. Like I could put a fucking new sound system in the back of my Escalade on Underground 2. Like you can't there's not another game today that I'm aware of that you can do that. At least not a big AAA game. So like shit like that, I don't think another game is ever gonna touch it. Really, that game was just the greatest to me. That's like the best Need for Speed game, hands down.
We can agree on the customization part. Yes, Underground 2 is the goat of customization.
Yes.
Yeah, but in terms of like an overall racing game, dude, no, no, I
What's
don't
the
think.
best racing game? Is it GT7?
No, you guys ruined GT7 for me because you
Well, you
explained
don't love it.
that
You don't absolutely love GT7. What's wrong with
because
you?
you guys explained that it's the track that moves, not the car.
Hey man, if
I
you love
can't.
hey man, if you love that game, stand on business.
Yeah, if you like the game,
I,
like the
I
game. Ain't
never
nothing wrong.
loved it. I never loved GT7. At no
Okay.
point you will not find any video. You can clip it. I've never said that I loved GT7 ever.
I'm pretty
But the
sure you
best,
said it multiple times.
no, the best
I'm pretty
racing
sure you did.
game, in my opinion,
Sport, GT Sport.
it's Forza Horizon 5.
5.
Yeah,
5 is great. The only thing that I miss from 4 is the fact that they fucked up Forzathon in Horizon 5 and it's not the same as it was and it's not fun because nobody
yeah.
plays it.
I'm not about the events. I'm more about like the minute to minute gameplay and Forza
Sure, yeah.
Horizon 5.
It's
Like
great.
it's like the Elden Ring of racing games. You have people that don't even like racing games. People like Cozy Beluga or my sister that just likes fighting games. In the one that lives in Spain, she plays the crap out of Forza Horizon, and she's like, it's so
Hmm.
good. So for me, there's good amongst like hardcore gamers. That means you're very good. But when you start reaching out to play to people that don't even mess with your genre, that's there's levels to it. You know what I mean? Like T Mac was famous in the NBA, but Kobe, there's people that didn't know what basketball was really about, but they knew who Kobe Bryant was. Like there's people. DeMar DeRozan is famous in the NBA. There's people that know who LeBron is. They don't watch basketball, and I feel like when you're talking about the goats in any genre, right? You have to take your feelings out of it. For me personally, my favorite racing game that really messes with my heart, that I think is the best of all time, is Colin McRae Rally. For me, that's like peak racing, but it's a rally game. You know what I mean? Most people don't like that. I'm talking about the closest we can get to just the best objectively. And Forza Horizon has people that don't even like racing playing it. Gran Turismo was a simulation game. Most people that don't like racing games don't play Gran Turismo. They don't play Forza Motorsport.
Even people who
Horizon,
do
for
like
me,
racing games don't play Gran Turismo.
god damn it. Whatever, man. Whatever. Anyways, that's Need for Speed turning 30 years old. Is there anything else you guys would like to add or on this specific topic?
I'm all set.
Ham? You
No,
good?
I'm all set, bro.
All right. Ham's all set.
Let's step.
All right. Lastly, we have to talk about possibly one of the goats. Right? We go from one of the goats of racing to one of the goats of consoles. November 2024 sales charts, Nintendo Switch passes the PlayStation 2 to become the second best-selling gaming hardware in United States history. We don't even need to get into the specifics of this
What's
article.
first? Is it like the Super Nintendo or something? I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
Okay,
DS.
I
DS.
guess
Okay, makes
it's the
sense.
what?
DS.
Is it? Oh yeah,
That
yeah.
makes-
Now trailing only the DS. So Nintendo is number one and two. Okay.
There
Um,
you go.
and then you have people telling, my PlayStation's the number one. All right, sure. Anyway,
Number
fellas,
one in their heart. That's all that matters.
Big Mad Mo says F-Zero is the GOAT. You know what? That's a fair shout. It's a fair shout. But in terms of being objective about the GOAT, Big Mad Mo, we have to take our feelings out of this. There's a lot of gamers, actual gamers, that don't even know what F-Zero is.
Yeah,
Horizon has crossed the threshold to people that don't even play racing games. They know what Forza Horizon is. So it is what it is.
damn.
Um, Matt, what are your thoughts on the Switch officially going into the history books
Shouts
in the
out to the
US?
Switch. I absolutely love the Switch. I can't stop playing it. I'm playing it right now. I own hundreds of games on my Switch. I love it. No, I don't. Um, that's cool though.
I was about to
That's
say, stop lying.
that's cool. It's good for them. I mean, I'm not too surprised. It's kind of only a matter of time. The Switch, I mean, let's be real, the Switch has had, first of all, it's a wildly popular console. On top of that, mix in the fact that it's been chugging along for what? Damn near 8 years at this point. We're going on 8 years.
Chugga.
So like
Chugga,
it's had a long life cycle. Um so it's had plenty of time to hit that number, but it does not really surprise me that it did hit that number with how popular it is. Feels like every child has a Switch. I've not seen a child in like 5 years who doesn't have a Switch. It's insane.
It's like your badge of childhood. You're not a
It
real
pretty
child
much.
if you don't have a Switch.
That's what it seems like.
That's great. All right. Ham, what are your thoughts on Switch breaking through?
Bro, the Switch is about to become an even bigger problem for the PS2 here soon.
Hmm.
How so?
Once, what's that?
How is it going to become a bigger problem for the PS2?
Because they're looking at them numbers. You know, when there's a next gen,
Oh yeah,
when there's a
yeah,
next gen console out, usually sales go up for the previous console.
yeah. Because the
Oh yeah,
prices go
true.
down. Because the
Especially
prices
because
go down.
usually when the price gets reduced.
Yeah.
Yep.
And as long as Nintendo can make this support last much longer than the Wii U support, it could be a big problem in the future, especially seeing that they went so low end on their hardware that they could really sell those things like Game and Watches damn near.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Yeah.
might buy a Switch. That's how cheap it might
I'm
get.
I'm saying type shit.
Tie shit.
So
I'm
like
serious. I'm serious, boys. Next time y'all rock up with this podcast, I need everyone sober. What the hell's going on with this type shit?
Well, I'm sober as can be. You can't be more sober than I am right now.
hey man, when you know, you know. And
Type
it's
shit.
your job.
Oh my god.
It's your
Matt,
job
stop
to
it.
stand on. You gotta stand on what you believe.
Your daddy
Type
says if you
shit.
don't have a Switch, You ain't a child. You a jit. What is a jit?
Oh, come on. You ain't no
Oh,
shit.
the jet. Oh man,
My goodness. That he's bringing out that Florida language right
yeah,
there.
that's some southern shit. Some very southern shit.
That's
I
that
wouldn't
Florida
know because I'm not from the U.S. So would you guys tell me
Well,
what the hell a
that's
jit is?
insane because you're just lying to people now. Continue though.
All right. So on that note, we've come to the end of another installment, another fabulous installment of the lowdown on TSWS gaming. My cheeks are sore from all the smiling and laughing.
What?
Oh, damn. That's too bad, bro.
Good lord.
Thank you to everyone in the chat for the jokes.
That's a hell of a revelation to have.
Guys, the
Towards the
cheeks
end of
are
the
on my
show.
mouth. What is wrong with you?
Oh
Ah,
man,
Your
he's got
cheeks
the
and
cheeks.
your mouth?
He's got the cheeks on his mouth.
He said his cheeks and his mouth.
He's burying his face in it. What are you
I
doing?
mean, at
bro?
least Loke is
Stop it.
standing on business. I can't even be mad at him. Like,
This
he
we
had to
can't
let
end the
y'all
show
know.
like this.
all right.
His cheeks sore.
Big
His
Matt Ball,
mouth
what are
is,
you doing?
his mouth is in pain. I don't know what that even means. Is
You're
it like,
yelling at us about a PG show. This you just
how
made it
is
18
your
plus.
mouth in pain? Like, what does that mean? Does
Um,
does it feel like it got stretched?
Those cheeks are closing in on him. It's crushing his mouth.
He can't feel his face.
y'all, please make sure to smash the like button. And yeah, Matt, please tell people where they can find you, etc., etc. This is
You
getting
can
too weird
find
for me.
me. You can find me on YouTube at Matt Likes Games. Videos every week. Podcast every week. Mondays at 8 p.m. Usually is the is the L3R3 podcast with myself, Hard Days Mike, and it's me, Twan. And then Wednesdays at 8 p.m. So tonight at 8 p.m. we've got the two player
Oh, we are
podcast.
live, Jax. Jax, we are live. Believe
We've
that.
got
Go
oh
ahead, man.
shit. No, this is not recorded. This is all off the dome. This is a freestyle. This is the five fingers of death, but we've got the two player podcast with myself and Ham Solo here on my channel. That's tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. So check that out. And then I'll be back here Friday.
You better come through if you're trying to see some type shit.
Tie shit. Tie shit.
All
And
right,
then
that's enough.
Fridays.
That's enough.
Fridays I'm here at 4 p.m. Eastern for
no,
bullshitting with these bozos.
Matt, I don't know what the fuck you heard that.
Oh man.
But you
Tight
need to stop
shit.
with that. Ham, please plug your stuff. Plug anything you want to plug before we hop
I ain't
on.
plugging nothing around you. You in pain already.
Oh my god!
and
Thank you
whatnot.
guys for watching. We will see
Anyways.
you tomorrow. What the fuck?
Type
Ham?
shit.
Tight shit.
But anyways, yeah. I mean, I appreciate everybody that rolled through here to listen to this absolute type shit. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like,
God damn
it
it,
was a
God
good
damn
time.
it.
Thank you, Fark you, to our like resident now video. I was gonna say photo, but now photo and video editor. Our during show. He gives us current events through through video game art, and it's fantastic for the most part. Sometimes it isn't through video game art, but it's perfect. Like, I mean, that last one. I mean, should I play the last one just one more
No.
time?
You probably should.
That shit was hot, right? You can't say that wasn't hot.
Sure.
It's one of the best things I've ever seen.
Just don't say tight shit, please. For the
Tight
love of
shit.
Fatima.
As we don't have the capacity.
Tight shit.
Oh my god!
Your daddy
was
says
good,
look in that hepatitis type shit. What is going on? What is going on today? Y'all are weird. No, this is too much today. Nope.
Oh my god! But anyways, check us out. Loke, are you doing a show tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Oh wait, tomorrow's
No, no,
Thursday. Oh fuck, I thought
yeah,
tomorrow was fucking Tuesday.
no. I actually
Oh,
didn't
tomorrow
do a
I
show
am doing.
yesterday.
Yeah. So yeah, tomorrow's Thursday. Yeah, me and King Dave are gonna be on the show. So yeah,
Yeah,
I need to get down tonight and make the thumbnail for that and whatnot. Make sure you guys keep an eye on that. We'll have the thumbnail out for that. Make sure you stroll through. Come check out me, King David, talk about Xbox and all the shit that's going down over there. Talk about a little bit of what Satya Nadella's been going down. Talk about the Game Awards, just current event type shit. You know,
Let's
come
go.
through.
Nice shit.
Yeah.
God damn it. You know what? Y'all have a good one. Y'all have a good one. Ham, make sure you block me tomorrow because I'm finna show up on the stream with King David and just start spamming tight shit. And then after you block me, I'm gonna come into the panel and then I'm just gonna be.
I don't think you understand. Like you're telling me that I need to block you from coming onto the show and standing on business. Like you telling
Yeah.
me that I need to block
He
you from
need
standing on business?
he needs to block you for being awesome. Why?
That's insane. Like I can't do
Tight
that.
shit,
Why would he do
tight
that?
shit. Anyway, y'all have y'all have a good one. We'll see
See
you
you
tomorrow
tomorrow.
for the stream
See y'all.
with King David.